Yeah. My name is Karen Craig, and this is my daughter Anne. And I want to talk a little bit about our journey today. As most people know, when your child or your loved one leaves high school, they're leaving a sea of peers at their age and friends and teachers and acquaintances that they've made friends with, and life can get pretty empty after that time. Sometimes it's hard for people to imagine that there is another individual out there who cares about their child as an adult. But trust me, there are people that care to know. We've been working rather intentionally for the past few years, with friendships and relationships and circling back with people. About once a week, we've made it an intentional effort to reach out to someone who's in Anne's support network. There are 52 weeks in a year, and it usually happens by chance, but we'll connect either by phone or, in a private message online. It's become important to us, to know that Anne will have people with her throughout her entire life, and that includes friends and people who've known her for a little while, people who've known her for a long time. She does yoga on every Tuesday. She goes swimming once a week. She helps volunteer at the library. So there are a few places that she's showing up each week, which makes it really a good routine, and I think a fun routine for Anne. And outside of that, we've worked in ways to help people, remember Anne and be there for Anne and learn to come to know Anne better. Everyone's story is different. Everyone brings something to the table, and it really is possible for many people. Anne has just a wealth of people who care about her and are interested in celebrating her. One of the things that we've found as we go along is while it's important and while Anne has always had friends who have developmental disabilities in her life, and also it's been very important for her to have friends who have common interests and who just become friends naturally with her. And we've had to put ourselves out of our comfort zone a little bit to get there. One of the newer friends that Anne has in her life for the past few years came by way of her niece's music garden class, where a lot of young moms and some grandmothers came with their children. And there were two moms in the group who always noticed Anne, and they would talk to her a little more than the others would, and so we got to think about her birthday party that year and how we wanted to celebrate with her, and we thought back about the things that spark Anne's interests and that she's been interested in, and she has always liked to be read to, and she's enjoyed having poetry read to her. And I had a friend suggest, why don't you have a poetry reading? And so we thought, well, we're going to give it a shot, Have never had a poetry reading before, but we invited some friends, neighbor friends, aunts, to the house. And I thought, maybe I will ask these moms from the music garden group if they want to come. And for me, that was stepping out of my comfort zone to ask someone that I knew very briefly. And when I did, they both were so excited that we had asked them. And one of the moms, as it turns out, was so excited because she writes poetry and she wanted to share her poetry with Anne. And that has led to a friendship with Anne in a different way, being part of Liz's life, and she takes great interest in what goes on with Anne still. I think it's important as you go along, as you're working on helping your loved one build relationships, to be gentle with people. Try not to be judgmental on where they are coming to it. Some people will surprise you and be there in great ways, and some people that you would imagine would be there may not show up for you in the ways that you're looking for. But leave people room who are happy to be in your child's life, and let it happen naturally. And I think you'll enjoy it. Your child will be happy. But really try to hold judgment and gentleness toward the people who are in your child's life or your loved one's life. The other thing that happens is, just as in our lives, people come and go. I've known people during different periods of my life that I no longer see, barely talk to. But I still have a place for them in my heart, and it's going to happen with Anne too. She's going to have people who come and go in her life, if it's friends or neighbors or just acquaintances, and that's all a very natural part of building relationships, and you should expect that will happen. But I think if you work intentionally and just keep an open mind with relationships, and I think that's very possible, and those people will be willing, I think, to take a walk with your child for the long haul.